Hello everyone, welcome to today's deck profile. Today we are doing Virus slash Lair of Darkness, I guess. It's a deck based around tributing your opponent's monsters to activate your Virus trap cards. And it's very control heavy. It tries to take all the gas out of your opponent's tank before they can really get any plays off. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see in the next one. Starting off, we got 3 copies of Lilith, Lady of Lament. When it's normal summoned, its original attack becomes 1000. Quick effect, tribute a dark monster. Reveal 3 normal traps from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one to set on your field. The rest are shuffled back into the deck. This is one of your main play starters. This allows you to get any of your viruses from deck. It could let you get Metaverse, or something like a Mind Crush. So this is one of your main searchers in the deck, along with a good way to out some of your opponent's monsters if needed. Next up, we are playing 3 copies of Alice, Lady of Lament. When it's normal summon, target a Lady of Lament in your graveyard, special summon it. You can banish a trap from your hand or grave, special discard from your hand, if this card is tributed, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can add a Fiend monster whose original attack and defense equal 2000. So this is a reborn for either Lilith or Loris, as well as a way to search them when you tribute off Alice for any of your effects. We're then playing 3 copies of Loris, Lady of Lament. You can target 3 or 6 of your normal trap cards that are banished or in your grave, place them on bottom of the deck in any order, then draw 1 card for every 3 cards placed. If another monster is tributed, or if another trap is sent to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can target a normal trap in your grave and set it. So this is a great recursion tool, as well as some draw power for the deck. Some more draw power for the deck is Arima, the Wicked Warden. You can discard this card to add Lair of Darkness from deck to hand. You can tribute a dark monster, draw 1 card, or if you tributed a dark monster other than Arima, you can add a dark monster with 2000 or more defense from your deck to your hand. So from here you can search either Alice or Darkus Diabolos, who is your boss monster for the deck. But his main use is grabbing Lair of Darkness. And the last monster is 3 copies of Darkus Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. Your opponent cannot tribute this face-up card in the field, and cannot target it with card effects. If a dark monster is tributed, except during damage step, special summon this card from your grave or hand. You can tribute a dark monster your opponent controls, or you contribute a dark monster. Your opponent places 1 card from their hand, either to the top or bottom of their deck. So hand looping, as well as a massive body on the field. That's it for the monster lineup. Most of them are just search power and ways to trigger your virus traps if you don't have this next card, Lair of Darkness. Lair of Darkness turns all monsters in the field into dark monsters. Once per turn, if you would tribute a monster to activate a card effect, you can tribute a dark monster your opponent controls as if it were your own. Once per turn during the end phase, special as many torment tokens as possible to your opponent, to the side of the field of the turn player, as equal to the number of monsters tributed. So if I tributed 3 monsters during my turn, I get 3 torment tokens. I tributed 2 monsters on my opponent's turn, they get 2 tokens. That is always the forgotten effect of Lair of Darkness, but it's actually important in this deck. We are playing 3 copies of Super Polymerization. All monsters in the field are dark, so Starving Venom, Trichostepelia, Triff, any of the Predaplants really. So if your opponent is able to build a board, this just can out it pretty quickly. Finally, 1 copy of Terraforming. Add Lair of Darkness. Lair of Darkness is the heart and soul of this deck, so being able to get to it is incredibly useful. That's it for the spells. This is a trap-heavy deck, so moving on to the traps, we play 3 Metaverse to grab your Lair of Darkness, or to trade it out, since it's not a hard once per turn. you can trade out your Lair. For the first of the viruses, we play 3 Eradicator Epidemic. Tribute a dark monster with 2,500 or more attack to declare either spell or trap. Look at your opponent's hand, all spell and traps they control, and all cards they draw until the 3rd turn after this card's activation. Also, destroy any card of that type. So, with this, any spell card or trap card, whichever you deem necessary at the time, is completely gone from your opponent. They can't, unless it's got a graveyard effect, it's unusable for 3 turns, which is a fantastic way to lock out certain decks. We're playing 3 copies of Grinning Grave Virus. Tribute a dark monster with 3,000 or less attack. Your opponent destroys 1 card of their choice in their hand or deck for every 500 attack that monster had on the field. If you tribute a monster with 2,000 or more attack to activate this card, look at all cards in your opponent's hand and all cards they draw until the next end phase, or until the end phase of the 3rd turn after this card's activation, and destroy all monsters among them. Cards destroyed and sent to the grave by this effect cannot activate their own effects the same turn. So it's a great way to lock out your opponent, as well as getting some knowledge as to what they have sitting in the back. Next, I do play 3 copies of Mind Crush. When your entire deck is based on looking at your opponent's hand, this is a great way. Say they draw something that isn't affected by any of your active viruses, you can just Mind Crush it away to make sure that it's not really a threat. So Mind Crush is just a fantastic card in this deck. Play 2 Crush card. Tribute a dark monster with 1,000 or less attack. Your opponent takes no damage for the rest of until the end of the next turn after this card resolves. Also, look at your opponent's hand and all monsters they control, and if you do, destroy monsters among them with 1,500 or more attack. Then your opponent can destroy up to 3 monsters with 1,500 or more attack from their deck. This one's not my favorite, but it is useful for many decks, especially in combination with Deck Devastation Virus. Tribute a dark monster with 2,000 more attack. Look at your opponent's hand and all monsters they control and all cards they draw until the 3rd end phase after this card's activation, and destroy all monsters with 1,500 or less attack. If you're able to get both of these viruses live at the same time, then your opponent's locked out of monsters. Finally, we play 2 Full Force Virus. Tribute a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense. Look at your opponent's hand and all monsters they control and all cards they draw until the end phase of the 3rd turn after this card's activation. If you do, destroy all those monsters with 1,500 or less defense. That's it for the main deck. Like I said, very trap heavy, very control heavy. For the extra deck, I do not have mine finished yet, but I'm playing 3 Starving Venom. I would recommend 3 Predaplant Triff, 3 Dracospelia. You could play Guardian Chimera. You could play really anything, because the extra deck isn't too important here. It's just a way to Super Poly away your opponent's board if they've already built one. I hope you all enjoyed today's deck profile. This is a very fun deck based around sort of stopping your opponent and making sure that they don't have the opportunity to make any plays. The one issue this deck does have is getting a lethal push. If you don't find access to your copy of Darkest Diabolos, then it becomes very grindy, but otherwise the deck is kind of fun. It's very control heavy, and I hope you all enjoy it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.